guys? Welcome back to the Planet Soccer channel here on YouTube. I'm Reed. That's Dylan. As always, we are back. But little different today. We're not talking sports. Well, kind of, but not really. We're talking food. Dylan, you just got back from, I guess, the Americans' cultural version of a trip around the world out in Epcot down in Florida. I'll let you talk a little bit about that here in a second, but what we're doing today is we are taking the newly updated FIFA World Rankings, the top 20 in those world rankings. We have a slideshow basically of their signature dish and then a list off to the side of some other dishes. And we're going to tell you what we think about these other countries' food as experts on world cuisine, just stealing the best things from everybody's country here in America. We feel very qualified to talk about this. Dylan, how are you doing? How's Disneyland or Disney World? And
Good.
Are you excited for this episode?
I'm very glad I already ate because I remember I hadn't eaten before the last time we went to go do this one, and that was tough. So I'm sitting here on a full belly. I'm ready to rock and roll. Like you said, freshly back from Epcot, did my own mini tour around the world, drank around the world one night, relatively
drunk,
around the world.
Tweeted around the world.
Yeah, it was good times. Good times were had by all, as always. But yeah, I love food. I'm the chef in our house. So some of these, when we were doing our research, I was like, man, I need to broaden my horizons as the resident chef in the house and try some of these out, because some of these countries I honestly probably have never had any of their dishes. Looking at you, Netherlands, as the first one on my list. I don't think I've ever had anything you're known for, so maybe I got to branch out a little bit. But yeah, I love food. I love making it, eating it, talking about it. So ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of you. Shelby's actually in the kitchen cooking dinner right now, so I can smell it. I know it's coming, and then we're also going to spend 20 minutes talking about it. So that'll be a good appetizer, I suppose. But let's get right into it. And we're going to start with the world number one, the defending FIFA World Cup champions, Argentina. They've got empanadas on here as their signature dish. Beautifully crisp brown empanadas. Google did a great job with that. We also got chimichurri, asado, and provoleta. Dylan, I think what we should do is we should rank their signature, like the picture of their signature dish, and then how we feel as a whole of their cuisine, because I think some of these might be a little bit different. With Argentina, I think it's like a solid 7.5, maybe 8 for both. I mean, empanadas you can do so much with, but they're also kind of limited as like an appetizer, I feel like, or a shareable.
If you have enough of them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And then they do beef really well in South America. So, I mean, I would be fine eating Argentina cuisine for the rest of my life, probably.
Oh yeah, no doubt. The South American barbecue grilling meats, world class. Yeah. I feel like I give Brazil the nod there, but I think it's more on name recognition. I'm sure it's just as good in Argentina. They kind of go head to head for the who's got the best. The thing that caught my eye though is this provoleta. It's literally just a freaking pan of fried cheese. So sign me up for that. So I was probably sitting at like a 7 because there isn't a ton of variety, but you give me a pan of fried cheese as one of your top 4 dishes and chimichurri sauce, I'm going to go 8.2 overall, but that photo I'm giving a 9 because those look crispy.
I'm looking at provoleta right now, and it just looks like chili skillet queso to me, to be honest.
I mean, is that a bad thing? With like high quality cheeses?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's just another thing that Americans stole, I suppose.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 2, kind of a divisive one, I think, around the world. It is France. Dylan, you've got a picture of their macaroons on here, which are colorful, bright. I know macaroons are delicious. I love them. And French cuisine is renowned across the world. They've got several Michelin star restaurants that other Michelin star chefs start at to get their foothold in the industry. And it's a staple. But I'll tell you, I've been to France, I've been to Paris, and I don't love the cuisine as a whole at all. like really at all. We went to a restaurant, funny story, at our hotel. It was my dad's 50th birthday, and the chef refused to let us leave until my sister liked a course that they brought out. We were there for 4.5 hours, and we ended up eating probably $600 worth of food that was free because the chef just kept insisting on bringing it out until my sister was like, yep, good, good. So I'm giving macaroons a 7.1 and French food as a whole a 5.8.
Yeah,
It
I'm gonna
would be
go
a
like
4.8, but their reputation, I'll bump them up a point.
I'm gonna go like a 6.2 on macaroons. Like they're good, but like there's
Yeah.
so many better things out there for dessert.
Yeah.
And everything else that I know I have tried from French cuisine, which is probably, albeit fairly limited, is like little side dishes. Like, you got French onion soup or a souffle or escargot, like the kind of big staples you kind of think of as an American thinking about French food. Don't really do it for me. So I'm gonna go like a 4.2 overall.
That's
Come at
fair.
me in the comments, bro. Bring it.
Yeah, all the French people, please come at us in the comments if you know English and understand our video. Dylan, you've been to England most recently, so I'm going to let you take this one. England is at number 3.
I mean, fish and chips are phenomenal. Like a good, crispy fish with good quality chips, like nice thick chips with just a crap ton of vinegar, just doused all over it. Sign me up. Huge fish and chips guy. Really big on the pies too, like shepherd's pie, those sorts of things.
Don't they
Phenomenal.
sell
But
those at stadiums? Like they sell
yeah,
pies
yeah,
at
they do.
That's so
They do.
strange. Like, could you imagine just eating a pot pie at a July baseball game in Texas? Like,
No, because it's
just sell
120 degrees
yeah.
out. But in 20-degree weather in Manchester in
Yeah.
February, I could smash a shepherd's pie in the
Yeah.
stand. So good on them. I don't blame them on that. Also, super well known for curry. I know it's kind of technically like an Indian food is what people
Yeah,
think of.
that's a colony thing. That's a colony
Actually,
thing.
it originated in Britain. Technically, it
Really?
originated in Britain. So they like to take claim for it.
But the spices
The
came
picture
from India.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The picture we have here, though, is a full English breakfast, and I want no part of that. Mushrooms, tomato, and beans have no place on my breakfast table. Get that the hell out of here. That is a 1.3 because at least you got some eggs and some sausage there. Overall, I'll give them like a 6.2, and that's only because I love fish and chips.
Oh,
The rest of it is not that good.
that's generous. I'm gonna rate the English breakfast a 1.2. I mean, the eggs and the toast are the only probably. And you don't even have like the blood sausage on here, which I think is like what is typically on there a lot of times. This is just a normal thing of sausage, which is good. But I mean, what's the difference between it and IHOP? And if that's like your national breakfast, then gross. And then the food as a whole, it just 3.5. I mean, it's bad, dude. It's really bad. I don't even love. I like fish and chips, but the types of chips they do that you were describing, like the thick
Oh
cut.
yeah,
Those are my
with a bunch
least
of
favorite types
vinegar.
of. Those are my least favorite types of fries or chips, if you will. I'm a shoestring guy through and through. So,
I'm a potato guy. I don't
mm,
discriminate against any sort of fry. You just got to find the right thing to pair it with, and vinegar with
yeah.
the thick cut steak type fries are phenomenal. Missing out.
Maybe so. Moving on to Belgium. I don't know how they're still number 4 in the FIFA rankings, but that's besides the point. Belgium's got chocolate and waffles, and I mean, it's a good combo. It's good standalone. We got a picture of a beautiful plate of Belgian waffles here. Dylan, like their waffles in America that are advertised as Belgian waffles? Are those actually Belgian waffles? Do you know, or is it a marketing scheme? Because
It's
if
so
that,
I've never been. I've never been. I've heard from Abby and her sister who have both been and get like not like overly passionate, but a little passionate when the whole Belgian waffle thing comes up.
yeah,
Apparently, it's super different over there. Honestly, I don't remember what it is, but like if you're having a Belgian waffle in the U.S., it's probably not actually a Belgian waffle. I think they're like they might be a lot sweeter. over there, which is weird because typically things in America are just loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
So I think it's something about like the thickness and the sweetness is a little different. I've heard actual Belgian waffles are phenomenal. Off of my experience, not a big waffle guy. Honestly, I'd
So I
rather
mean,
an
we're talking
Eggo.
like Belgian waffles
I'd,
at a continental breakfast at a Holiday Inn. Like that's what's advertised. And if
yeah,
I'm
right.
thinking
And
that's
like,
your
yeah, but apparently it's super different over there. So this is us being like ignorant Americans who haven't gone to Europe enough because we can't just take a train to Belgium.
yeah,
But off of my knowledge, I would rather an Eggo than like a actual like Belgian waffle that you can get in America.
thick.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a big fan. Chocolate's great, but on the individual dish for the picture, I'm gonna go like a 4.9. Like the fruit looks pretty good. Nice
The
cup
fruit
of
looks
coffee in the
great.
back.
Yeah.
And overall, because all else I get is chocolate, I'll just give it the same score for
Yeah.
overall
It,
because
it
I
says
really
that
don't know a ton about it.
Belgium has stews, waffles, and sweets, which I feel like they probably do those at a second rate than the rest of Europe. Like you've got Swiss chocolate, that's probably better. Um, you know, and various other things. Stews are probably better in other countries, maybe closer to the coastline or something like that. So, but this picture is good. It looks very good. I like waffles. I'll give it a 6.5, and then food overall, just variety wise, it's got to be in the low fives, 5.1, 5.2 for me. So, um, moving on to a heartier nation as far as food goes. We're talking Brazil in at number 5. I think Brazilian steakhouses, you flip the green card and you flip it to red when you're full, and you unbuckle your belt, and you just eat as much as you can because this food's delicious. We've got an assortment of meats on this picture. Some carne asada. I'm sure it's not carne asada, but steak essentially. Some really well seasoned and barbecued chicken, and then I don't know what that thing is down there at the bottom.
I'm
But then
guessing some sort of like seafood skewer thing, but that looks pretty
yeah,
fire too.
and then the corn looks dank. So
Big fan of
I
grilled corn.
yeah,
Big
I
fan.
know that I could, similar to Argentina, I could eat this for the rest of my life. I would have no issues living in Brazil and eating the food and be proud to say that I do. This picture is the best picture we've had by far.
Easily.
It's a 9-1. Um, and that's just because I'm not going to give anything a 10. And then the
I
food
was gonna
overall
say
is
what's getting a 10 then?
the food overall is mid eights. So yeah, I props to
Yeah.
Brazil on the food for sure.
Yeah, that picture that's a if we're not giving out tens, I'll give it like a 9.4. Overall
Yeah,
food. I honestly I don't know much about their food other than Brazilian steakhouses, so this is like more on my Brazilian steakhouse experience than like
yeah.
the whole culture of their food, which is probably not overly representative, but I'm gonna go like an 8.7 because Brazilian steakhouses are
And they've also got a
just
long
phenomenal.
coastline too, so I'm sure they
Yeah,
have really really
lots
good
of seafood,
seafood.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
This might be mean, Dylan, but I'll let you take the Netherlands. Just because I don't. You mentioned it at the top, and I don't really know what to say.
So I did lie at the top saying I had never tried their food because one of the things that was listed when I was looking it up is pickled herring, which is
I've never had
absolutely
it.
disgusting. It's one
Yeah,
of it might be the single worst food I've had in my life. It's
there are
literally
very
pickled
few like
fish.
pickled things that I really like besides
Like I
pickles.
love pickles. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love pickles. So like and I like fish, but like pickled fish is and then apparently they're known for pancakes and this like fried
and drugs.
yeah, and drugs. It's the thing we got a picture of is a deep fried ball of mushy meat coated in breadcrumbs. No one can describe exactly what's inside. So part of me is like, that sounds awesome. Like deep
Sounds
fried
very
meat.
American.
Right, deep fried meat. What could go wrong? You could get this at like the Minnesota State Fair or like the Texas State Fair or something.
Yeah,
But the fact that nobody can describe what's on the inside scares the shit out of me, and I probably wouldn't actually eat it, or if I did, I wouldn't enjoy it because I wouldn't know what I was eating. So the photo itself looks kind of good, maybe like a five
it looks
nine,
like
and
it
like
looks like a passable at a southern like country
it looks
hick
like a hush
wedding.
puppy. Like it looks
Yeah, it
like a
does.
hush
Yeah,
puppy, but
yeah.
like it's not. So yeah, the picture looks decent. I'll give it like a 5.9 because they can't tell me what's actually in it. And overall food, I'm sorry. I'm going like a 1-1. Like there's just
Oh,
nothing in my research that looked appealing other than maybe this mystery mushy meat deep
yeah.
fried.
The picture, I mean, nothing that's fried for me can be lower than a 6, so I'll give it a 6 even. Um, and the food as a whole, like, if you're not known for doing fish normally, like if you have to pickle it and you're in Northern Europe, it's probably not a good sign. You got to be in the threes for me. I'll say 3.4 on the overall food, just because they are also, I mean, they have good access to the rest of Europe. So I'm sure it's not like England level bad, um, just to throw more shade. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. Moving on to a country that I don't know. Actually, I'll let you take Portugal. You're good.
This is another one. Like,
You're about to be headed to Portugal.
yeah, I'm going there in a month for 2 weeks, so I will probably be much more versed on this when I get back than I am now. The picture is a custard tart. Like it literally looks like mini creme brulee. So sign me all the way up. This is like an 8.7 for me because it's a creme brulee, but like a pastry holding the whole thing in. Looks
I
unreal.
wish we knew
Looks like it
exactly what
looks.
it was because it looks cheesy to me, but it looks custardy to you.
It's a custard tart.
It
I
is a
remember
custard tart.
when I found, yeah, it is, and it
Okay.
looks just. I mean, and if I'm wrong or the website was wrong, and that is like mac and cheese, also sign me all the way up.
Yeah.
Also, super coastal again, like a lot of these.
Mhm.
Notice a trend. A lot of countries that are good at things and have food are near water. We'll talk about that later. Just tuck that away. But so it's super known for their seafood, octopus, calamari, super big there, which I'm a huge fan of. Also, a dish I
Same.
just found when we were doing research: duck rice. It looks
Hmm.
phenomenal. I love duck. I'm new to liking duck. Never really had duck until like 2 years ago, but it's
Yeah.
phenomenal. Duck rice looks amazing. So yeah, I'm going like 8.7 on the photo. And because I really want them to let me into the country and embrace me being there in a month, I'm gonna go like a 7.8 on the food with hopes of raising it higher a month from now.
I am also gonna go in the eights, probably an 8.4 for the picture. Um, it just looks like something that I would eat 10 of, so that's a
And
good
just not feel
sign.
bad about it either. Just
I would
no
probably feel
regrets.
I would probably feel bad about it. I'd have to take a Tums, but I wouldn't be mad while I was
Well
eating
worth
10
it.
of them.
Well worth it.
Yeah. And then food overall, I probably like low sevens just because um it is it is coastal, but I feel like it's probably not as good as Spain or maybe other countries nearby. Yeah, so I'll go there for Portugal, but I'm not mad about it, and I would also eat their food a lot if I had to. Speaking
Speaking
of
of Spain,
Spain, yeah, I didn't know they were next. Moving on to Spain, obviously paella and tapas galore is the big thing with Spain. Um, Shelby and I wanted to go to Barcelona last year, didn't end up working out, but it's just a really good food scene, and I hear Europeans on TikTok talking about going out in Spain, going to dinner, eating tapas, and it's just a good time. And then going out apparently at like 1 a.m., starting at 1 a.m. to party. But the food, I know it's good. It's got some coastal flair, and it's well located in Europe. And then also it's got some of that Hispanic spice influx. I feel like that I love as a Texan.
yeah, I'm gonna go for the paella itself. The photo, I'm gonna give it an 8.1 because that is loaded with all of the good seafood I can
Yeah.
think of. Overall food, I'm gonna go because I'm going to Portugal and I don't want them mad at me. I'm gonna go. What I go 7.8. I'm gonna go 7.7 for Spain just to make sure Portugal sticks ahead of them. But it's some pretty
Okay.
good stuff. Pretty good stuff. It seems. I mean, again, never been. Really want to go. And some of the
Mhm.
Spanish dishes I have had have been quite good.
I don't think I actually gave my ratings. I'm gonna go 7.5 for both. Shellfish can if it if I'm not in the right mood, it can kind of weird me out a little bit.
It's my favorite.
But yeah, not mad about it. Again, all
Yeah,
right.
the moral of the story is there's a lot of good food in a lot
Yeah,
of these countries.
it's hard to do Portugal and Spain back to back because they're neighbors, and you don't want to piss
Yeah,
either of them off.
right.
But let's talk about a country now that we can both give rave reviews about. It is Italy. The picture, you've got some pizza, some pasta, some cured meats, some bruschetta. Um, I mean, the picture's a 9.4 for me, and Italian food is a 9.4 overall as well. It's the food I eat the most of. It's the food we cook the most of. It's probably, well, maybe for the most of the U.S., I feel like it's the international food you see the most of. Here, we probably lean more Mexican, but I mean, it's Italian food. I mean, it's a top 1 or 2 country for food in the world.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I'm gonna actually just mirror your ratings. It is absolutely phenomenal. This photo has literally everything you could want. It's got prosciutto, it's got ravioli, it's got probably a carbonara, like you said, bruschetta. Like it's got everything in this photo. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. 9.8, 9.8 on the photo, and I'm gonna go 9.6 on the food. My mom's side super Italian. It is like my absolute like true actual Italian food is so much better too than Americanized Italian food.
Yeah.
It's still good, but like go get actual homemade handmade pasta at a restaurant if you can, because it's a bitch to make yourself, and it is so much better than just your store bought boxed or Olive Garden type. Like get yourself some
Yeah.
actual homemade pasta, preferably like a stuffed pasta of some sort. And it's the best. Yeah, Italy
I'm
wins. We could
actually
in theory stop this now if people want to know who's gonna win. Like I'd love for you to keep watching, but this is it. You found the winner.
I'm actually going to downgrade my ranking of the picture because I despise mushrooms. It's the one food
Me
that I've
too.
tried. I've given a chance to, but I just hate. So I'm going to
Same,
downgrade
but
it to an
in
8.8.
you can pull it off of both of those dishes. Like it can just slide right off
Yeah,
of both, and you're not tasting it. That's the nice thing about mushrooms. It's not like onions that like seep in. Mushrooms,
that's
you can
true.
just toss them out. But yeah, that's fair.
That's
I don't
true.
like mushrooms, and that's huge in Italian food.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of,
Um,
another neighbor, well, kind of. We'll go on to Croatia. Yeah, they're a neighbor
Cra-
across the water, but
yeah, that's true. Okay. Across
they're
whatever.
neighboring. I think they actually touch like in the very north, but yeah. So Croatia, one I have no idea on like at all. Fish
Yeah.
stew, mussels, and I guess the big one they're really known for is this black risotto, which is made from squid ink. That's what gives it the black color, and it is apparently super seafood flavored. I
So I've
think I
had
would
squid
really
ink
like
pasta.
that.
I've had squid ink pasta and it's good. It's
It
good.
looks this looks really good. So on this photo, I'm gonna go like a 8.2, and overall I'm gonna go like a 6.5 because I don't really know what they got going on
Yeah.
over there. I don't really know what's out there to offer. Apparently, if you do like mushrooms, it's like the truffle capital of the world. So
Hmm.
hooray for you people, but that ain't doing it for me. So yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go like mid sixes overall. But that individual squid ink risotto looks really good.
Yeah, I think they're on the wrong side of the Mediterranean. If they're even on the Mediterranean in that Mediterranean region, um, to be higher than like a 7.5 or a 7.3 for me overall. The picture's like a 7.7, I would say, just because octopuses don't present well on a plate, but I would eat it. So,
I would eat the hell out
yeah,
of that thing.
yeah. Moving
Moving
on
on to
to our,
another.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. You take it. You
Another
take it.
South American barbecue steak, red meat, chimichurri, Uruguay. I don't have a ton to say on this. We've said everything we have to say about South American food.
Yeah,
Damn good
they're
meat.
literally smack in the middle of Brazil and Argentina. So just copy and paste.
Yep. This
Yeah,
one looks pretty damn good. That chimichurri on like a perfectly done steak. Maybe it could be a little bit more rare, but I'll go like
yeah,
an 8.3 for the photo, and overall, whatever the heck I gave the other two, average those out. do the math for me, and I'll just meet those
Yeah.
in the middle because it is, again, it's pretty much the same. And I know,
Subtract
come at us in the
point
comments.
0.5.
Come at us in the comments, Uruguayan people, because I'm sure there are differences. But as a dumb American, it all looks the same to me, and it is all probably pretty damn good.
Subtract 0.5 from my Brazil rankings, and that's what I give Uruguay. I didn't write it down, though, so I don't remember. Moving on to Morocco, the team that we just found out recently jumped the USA in the FIFA World Rankings. Dylan, go ahead.
Kebabs,
Yeah.
calamari, couscous, apparently sardines too, which I like seafood. I do not care for sardines.
Yeah.
And mint tea, which I found out makes a very, very good mule drink. I had a Moroccan mule at
Huh.
Epcot, which was mint tea, ginger beer, and whatever alcohol goes in a mule. I don't know, vodka, I guess. Slapped. Highly recommend if you like mint and you like tea. Very good. The photo itself, I'm not a huge couscous person. It's not bad, but it's not like my favorite. So I'm gonna go like a 6.2 on the photo. Overall, I mean, kebabs, calamari type of street food. Big fan.
Yeah.
So I'll go like a 7.6. That's some quality stuff right there.
Yeah, they've got like Iberian Peninsula, North Africa, Mediterranean fusion. There's a TikToker that I follow. I forgot what her name is, but it's like a very aesthetic account. Her kitchen's beautiful, and she makes like delicious looking Moroccan food. I'll see if I can figure it out before we post this video. But I know the reputation of Moroccan food is excellent. I've just never really tried any of it, and I'm same with you on couscous. It's fine, I'll eat it, but it's not like my favorite thing in the world. But kebabs are up there in my favorite things in the world, and if you can do that right, then you're pretty high. The picture, I'll give it a 7, and then the food overall 7, 9, or 8. I think they deserve to be in the 8s, so I'll give them an 8 flat. All right, moving on to the good old US of A, the cuisine thief of the world. Dylan has an excellent picture on here for the USA. It is a hot dog topped with French fries. It's hard to rank the US's food, right? Because I mean, we do so many different things from so many different places. I guess like American barbecue is probably like our biggest thing, like the Memphis dry rub style. You've got different styles of barbecue. It's just a different way to do meats than like how South America does it, and places like that. I'm sure there are other places in the world that do barbecues or that smoke a rack of ribs and things like that, but I think American barbecue. I also think hot dogs, and I think state fair food, like deep fried shit. So
Deep fried Oreos. That's what I should have
yeah.
gotten on here.
Yeah, they have deep fried Coca-Cola at the Texas State Fair, and I never had it. I'm not sure how that works.
I was gonna say,
Um,
I'm no like chemistry major, but
yeah,
I don't think that works.
it does apparently somehow, and in October I'll try it and give you guys an update. This picture for me just screams like 8-year-old or maybe even a 6 or 7-year-old at a baseball game that got $2 hot dogs and then threw their fries on top of it. I mean, it's just like it's a 5, like whatever. The hot dog doesn't look like super, charred, and I don't like it super charred, but I also don't like it like it just came out of the package either.
Boiled, yeah.
Yeah, the fries look good though; they look crispy. But the picture's a 5, and the food as a whole, I mean, I think just like 7.5 is fair. You've got obviously places, New York, Vegas, the big cities that do all different types of cuisine really well, but just like middle America, restaurant on Main Street, you're not going to find anything that blows the world away. So 7.5 probably.
So photo, I'm gonna give it like a 5 too, because those hot dogs look nasty. Like big fan of mustard, but like those are undercooked for me. Like
Yeah.
those look like steamed hot dogs, which is nasty. The fries do look good though. Overall food, I was thinking like I was agreeing with your 7.5, and then you said like middle America food, and my mind went straight to we have way too many Olive Gardens in the like country to give us anything above like a 6.5. So I'm gonna go 6.5 because there's too many garbage chain restaurants out there. Like you can find really good food if you seek it out. But like it's hard to find really bad food in a lot of these countries we've gone through. Like you go to Italy, you're not going to find like a garbage chain. At least in my experience, you're not going to find a garbage chain restaurant there.
Yeah,
So that knocks us down a point. So I was on board with the 7.5, but I'm gonna bump that down to a 6.5.
fair enough. Forgot we had another South American country, Colombia, on here. They had some beans into the mix, so you get a little more Central American, but not to spend too much time on it. Meats, beans. We got some eggs thrown into this picture. It looks like what I would expect it to probably. I'll go 7.5 for the picture. Avocado looks pretty good, not much browning, and then overall 7.2 probably.
Photo, I'm going like a 4.5. Like that steak
Really?
is way overdone. I can just tell that steak is.
Well,
overdone.
it's a flank steak, so
Yeah, but
it's
like
hard. It's hard to.
it's gonna be chewy. That's gonna be one
Yeah,
chewy piece of meat. And then
I do love
beans again.
plantains though.
I don't need beans and eggs together ever. That's like a huge no for me. Overall food, I'll go like a 7 because they have empanadas, and they're known for them as well. And empanadas slap, whether it's actual good beef ones or the caramel apple ones from Taco Bell back in the day. It's hard to find a bad empanada, so I'll throw them. I'll throw them a 7.
Moving on to Mexico. The picture is a plate of tamales, which I love. I had a summer ball teammate growing up who was Hispanic, and his mom would make us tamales. Good tamales, like many things, are very, very good. And then you can have really dry tamales that aren't as good. The food overall, it's excellent. I mean, it's high 8s for me, 8, 9. And it does a lot of things really well. It's not just like tacos, nachos, burrito. Well, nachos aren't even Mexican food. Neither are burritos. That's Tex-Mex. But the food, I mean, you got elote, enchiladas. Mexican food enchiladas are different than Tex-Mex enchiladas, but I'm sure they're also very good. So, if that's a good plate of tamales, it's an 8. The food overall is an 8, 9 for me. I love Mexican food.
Yeah, food overall, I'm going 8.8. Tamales are good, but they're not my favorite, so I'm gonna go like a 7.9 on that. Like it is not what I would order at, like if I'm getting like true good authentic Mexican food.
Yeah.
But it'd be one like I'd be happy to steal it from somebody, or if somebody had one left, I'd chow down on it. But it's never what I'm gonna go out and order. I'd go for like a tostada or something like that first. I love tostadas, man. Or just like your kind of carne asada tacos, like with good salsa on top type of thing. Sign me up. But yeah, tamales I could take or leave. So 7 on those.
Moving on to Germany. I almost want to just skip you because shame on you. No? You like German food?
I mean, sauerkraut is amazing. Bratwursts are fantastic.
Oh, this picture just looks like a bunch of undercooked grossness to me. Like, what is it?
No, and they're
I mean, brats are fine.
Potato things that they do, yeah. No, potato pancakes they have, yeah. I'm not like super high on it, but like I'm not way against it. Like this photo, it does look a little soupy on the sauerkraut for my liking, but it still looks all right. I'm gonna go like a 7.5 on the photo. Overall, I'm just gonna give it like a 7 because it isn't like the best, but it's
high, really.
There's enough out there, just potato pancakes and brats and sauerkraut that like I'm good.
Yeah, I guess there's one guy on TikTok that I follow who's really funny that just constantly trashes German food. And I mean, it just seems like a bunch of sausages and sauerkraut to me. And
could I eat that the rest of my life? No, definitely not.
If that's if that's enough for you,
yeah.
then yeah, sure. I mean, the picture for me is like a 5, and then the food overall, I guess you've talked me into a 6 flat, I guess, but it doesn't scream flavorful and diverse and yummy to me. So, moving on to the one that I think I probably know the least about on this list is is Senegal, a West African country. I know that like the people who know West African food and the spices and things like that, it's got a little bit of a like Walmart version of India food cult following, but I just don't know enough about it to really rank it at all. The picture looks really good. I'll give it like a 7.2. The food overall, I have to give an A to, a not applicable, because I just don't know, honestly.
Yeah, so this one I've had African, like true African food once. Well, and I say true African, it was at Disney. It wasn't this last time, but there's a place at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and like they're known for like people say it's fairly authentic African food
Yeah.
for what you're gonna find in Orlando, Florida. It was actually pretty good. It was like you said, the spices are just pretty different. Lots of meats, breads, and sauces or toppings to put on really really good like flat bread, like almost like pita type stuff. But that's been my only ever experience, and I'm pretty sure I just ended up having some sort of red meat with kind of that bread type stuff. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna the photo looks pretty good. I'm gonna give like a 6.8, even though I don't know exactly what it is. And overall, I'll go like 6.5 because my one experience was really good, but I feel bad giving it too high because I don't even know how authentic it was, and I've had it one
Yeah.
time, so 6.5.
Now Japan. Japan. Dylan, you want to start with Japan?
Big sushi guy,
Yeah.
and big Japanese steakhouse kind of guy. So this sushi itself looks pretty good. Looks like we got cucumber, avocado maybe, and salmon, I would guess, or
Salmon.
tuna maybe.
Yeah.
Which I'm all in on that. Little tiny bit of wasabi, some soy sauce. I'm all in. Big sushi guy, big Japanese steakhouse guy. This photo, while it's not the roll I would probably order, it still looks good. I'm gonna go like an 8 flat. On overall food, I'm gonna go like an 8.2. Because I'm sure there's a lot of variety out there that I'm not having that I might not like, but the stuff I have had that is Japanese and I do like, huge fan of. So I'm just going to stick to those staples, those kind of Americanized staples,
Yeah.
and enjoy it.
So Japanese food for me is like top 4 in the world. Good sushi is some of the best stuff out there. This picture, it doesn't really do like the best sushi rolls you can get
Yeah.
justice. Um, I'm gonna pretend that it's a little more built up and give like a nice, beautiful plate of sushi, like an 8.8. And then the food overall is just below Italy for me. I'm gonna go 9.1 on food. I love eel. I mean, there's just so much. It's heavily seafood and red meat infused. Obviously, you've got the Kobe beef, um, and it's just really well done overall. I think you were talking about America. You can find a lot of things that are really bad in America. I think it's just the complete opposite, as opposite as you can get with Italy and both Japan. So, yeah, Japan, world class. All right. Next is Switzerland. We're down to our last two. Middle of Europe,
Dairy me
dairy,
up.
yeah, dairy central. Lots of cheese and creams and all of that. Melted cheese, non-melted cheese, cheese infused into bread. So the picture looks great. What is that in the picture, Dylan? Do you know?
Potato pancakes, yeah, like
Potato pancakes.
latkes,
Okay.
yeah, type of thing, yeah. Which
Okay. Yeah, that looks great.
another way to eat potatoes. Like I mean, again, I said this earlier. Just give me all of the potatoes, and
Yeah.
pancakes are no exception. Love me some potato pancakes and cheese. Um, Photo for me is like an 8.3 overall, because all I know is the cheese. I'm gonna go like a 7.5 because I love Swiss cheeses, not
Mhm.
Swiss cheese necessarily, but cheese from Switzerland and how they all the different things they do with it. But I haven't had a whole lot other than like cheese heavy dishes. And again, most of my experience there is at Epcot, so it could be pretty off. So take these all with a grain of
Um,
salt.
the picture for me looks like a more just solid like plate of hash browns. Like, is it basically like a hash brown cake almost? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
baked together. Yeah.
yeah.
And then is that mustard off? What is that
I have
dipping
no idea what
sauce?
that is off to the side. Normally, you use sour
Okay.
cream.
Okay. The picture is like a 7.7 for me, and the food overall is probably like a 7 flat. We have other dishes listed off to the side here. It's the potato pancake, and then there's a couple more, and they all have cheese. And then there's one that has randomly condensed milk, grated apples, hazelnuts, and almonds. So
Sounds pretty good.
um, it does sound good, but also doesn't sound like it has lots of things to offer. So
Substance.
yeah. All right, last country, number 20, new into the FIFA top 20 rankings. And my dog is barking. It is Iran, Middle Eastern country, not close to Morocco, but the American in me generalizes that area of the world around the Suez Canal as being somewhat similar. They also do kebabs and lots of meats. It looks like. Um, it looks good.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard good things about Middle Eastern food, and I'm sure it is good, but I don't have a whole lot to say about it.
yeah. The Middle Eastern food I have had is typically like a kebab or a shawarma type of thing, but
Yeah,
shawarma is like an Americanized Middle Eastern thing. I
yeah.
think. So yeah, I don't like. I almost want to give an NA here for like the overall. And to
Yeah.
be honest, I love kebabs. This picture I found does not look like a good kebab. So like you did with Japan, I'm just gonna pretend this is a nice looking kebab because kebabs deserve a good score, and I'm gonna go like a 7.9 on kebabs, even though this one does not look that great.
I will say that I think Iran is formerly Persia. Were they in the Persian Empire? I'm pretty sure they were. And I've heard great things about Persian food from friends that live in Los Angeles because they have like a heavy immigrant base there for Persian people, which I think would now be known as Iranians. And they rave about the food. So I'll give it a 7.5 based on reputation and the plate in itself. I mean, you've got that little dinky salad over there, which I never love to see just because it's not like a salad. It's just there to fill the plate. And the kebab is less than ideal. It's probably the picture itself is probably like a 6.2. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Any other? Yeah, no,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. I didn't know if I cut out or not.
No, no, you're good.
No,
Yeah,
that's all. That's all
yeah.
I
I
really have
mean,
to say about Iran.
yeah, I don't have a lot on them either. Like, yeah, it's a okay looking picture, but actual kebabs, I'd give a yeah mid sevens, and yeah, I got to go NA because I just don't know enough. I'll trust your friends, and I'll give
So
it like a seven, I
what's your
guess.
top five out of the ones we've talked about, Dylan?
But
In order
it
from
would be
five to one.
oh now you're holding me to make sure I get my rankings right. So this could be off now.
Or you can just
To
say five overall.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, I'll just give five overall. It'd be Brazil, Portugal, Italy, um, Mexico, and then honestly, I think U.S. would have if I didn't think about Olive Garden and stuff like that. So I think it would have been Argentina then, I believe, which is kind of lame because that's like Brazil and Argentina are the same, but I'm pretty sure that was my top
Yeah.
five.
I'll go Japan, Morocco, Mexico, Italy, and Brazil. Nice
I
diversity
you know
there. And
I'm
I'm
gonna
really
combine.
interested in Morocco.
I'm gonna combine Brazil and Argentina. I
Yeah.
know that's like probably sacrilegious, just to get Japan in there because they are so
Okay.
similar when you look at the
Yeah.
cuisines, and Japan is so different. Yeah, I would slide Japan in there and combine those two South American meats.
Yeah. Guys, if you made it this far, we appreciate y'all watching. This is kind of a one-off episode. It's just an idea we had to talk more opinion based than actually informationally about soccer, but it does tie into the theme of culture. You see, we reference regions a lot, like Northern Europe with Denmark, or I guess Denmark wasn't in here. Netherlands, Germany, South America. Not too many Asian countries, but they would have probably been similar to Japan. You just see the variety of foods in these countries and these regions, and also the similarities between the regions. And you see that a lot within the game as well, with ideas and tactics and things like that, and how Japan approaches the sport versus, say, how Brazil does. It kind of it is somewhat symbolized by their food in many cases. So we appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, all of that. And we will talk to y'all next time.